Hi, I'm Peter Capaldi. I play the Doctor, and you're watching EMS Productions.
Hello everybody, and welcome along to today's video, where today I'm going to be giving you guys a little update and my thoughts on the two new Doctor Who DVD/Blu Ray releases of the Series 10 box set and Shada. Now first off, I just want to apologise for the slightly smaller amount of videos recently, and probably going to be a bit more down the line, simply because, as I'm sure you probably would have worked out, I have started working at the BBC now, rather exciting. So I have, let's just say, a lot less time to record videos. I'm trying to sort of bulk record a few at a time when I can, but it probably does mean that the uploads will be a bit more sparse. And also just to say, I'm working, if you live in the UK and you want to check out the show that I am working on, it is a show called Front Row on BBC Radio 4. Every weekday at 7:15 PM. It did have Matt Lucas on the show a couple of weeks ago, so they have some fairly interesting guests. Do go check it out. There's my little BBC plug for you. But anyway, back onto Doctor Who, and this sort of the last week or so we've had two separate announcements of new DVD and Blu-ray releases with the Series 10 box set and the new millionth edition of Shada. So I might as well start with Shada, as that's the slightly more, I guess, significant one. That we're getting another release of Shada, but this time with animation to fill up the remaining bits that were never shot, because of course, if you didn't know already, this was a Tom Baker serial from 1979, 8, 9, something like that. I'm probably wrong there. Somewhere around there, when they essentially didn't finish filming the show, or filming that serial because of industrial action, and everybody went on strike at the BBC back then, when they'd only filmed half the story, so it never actually aired until it got a home release sort of years later. And so it's always been this sort of odd story where some of it's been filmed and finished, and then there's chunks that aren't there at all. And in the past we've just ended up with sort of linking narration or photos or something like that to try and fill the gaps, but now we are actually getting full animation to fill in all these gaps, which I think is fantastic. The animation's done by the same people who did The Power of the Daleks last year, which, okay, I mean, The Power of the Daleks animation was good, it wasn't fantastic, but then they only had like 3 months to produce 2.5 hours worth of animation. So maybe when they've had a little bit more time to do it and less animation to do, maybe they can make it a little bit better this time round. But certainly in terms of the style of the animation, it's very much going to be a similar vein to what we saw in The Power of the Daleks. Though one thing I do have to confess, despite having millions of releases, I have never watched or read or listened to any of Shada. So I know very little about the actual story of it, so I'm looking forward to being able to get this and do a proper sort of review of it, not from a point of knowing what's going to happen and what's going on in the story. So that I'm quite excited about. It's kind of finally pushed me to actually get this story, because it's on the list sort of thing, but I never quite got round to it. But now there's a new proper release of the episode, it seemed a great time to actually order it. As far as I can tell in terms of the extras on the discs, on the copies, it seems to be pretty much just what was on the previous DVD. That came out like 10 years ago or something, the Legacy Collection DVD version. But I believe the Steelbook edition also has a mysterious third disc that in the press release and stuff says there's a third disc, find out soon what's on it. So I don't really know what they're going to put on that third disc. There doesn't seem any obvious thing to put with it when they're already including all the special features of the DVD and the episode and animation and everything. So I really don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you have any idea what might be on this mysterious third disc. But yeah, it's a bit of a mystery. But overall with this release, I'm very pleased that we are going to be getting a kind of, I guess, the most complete version of Shada we've ever had in any sort of release. So that'll be nice to finally piece the story together completely. Unfortunately, this wasn't much of a shock or a surprise to me, as this did kind of leak about 3 months ago when somebody posted a video online, I think one of the people creating it, about making it, so it really wasn't any sort of surprise. It was just when it was actually going to be released. And it's nice that we've got a steelbook going with it as well. I must admit I have ordered the steelbook just to get that extra disc and the most maximum content and value from it, hopefully. So yes, when it comes around to it, I believe it comes out on the 4th of December. It's like a week before on digital download, and then on the 4th of December for the DVD, Blu-ray and Steelbook. So I'll be getting it then, watching it, and then hopefully reviewing it by the end of that week. And giving you guys my fresh opinion on the story, having never seen it before. So I'm really looking forward to it. But guys, do let me know in the comments below what you think about this release coming up. Are you looking forward to seeing a finally completed version of Shada? Or are you a little bit concerned the animation maybe won't be up to scratch or quite what we hoped it would be? Just let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, the other release announced in the last couple of days is finally the Series 10 box set is coming in time for Christmas. We're going to be getting a full Series 10 box set, DVD, Blu-ray, Steelbook, the whole works. They've got them all again. Now, the immediate thing to address about this is it does not contain Twice Upon a Time, which has riled a few fans. There's criticism, and uproar that there is not going to, that we're going to have to buy a standalone release after Christmas. And it's like, come on guys, just, that's life. The BBC would be idiots not to release it before Christmas. The Christmas market is so massive, it would make absolutely zero business sense to release it in the middle of January. It just makes no sense whatsoever. So as much as it may annoy some of you, there's absolutely no reason why they would wait until after Christmas, as far as I'm concerned. And I don't see it as much of an issue to have to get another release. Look at the Matt Smith last story, The Time of the Doctor, or The Day of the Doctor and The Time of the Doctor. They were both pretty much standalone releases, unless you've got the special edition 50th anniversary box set thing, which was only had about 5,000 copies. So for the majority of people, I, including myself, we have to have them as standalone, and it's like, that isn't an issue, it's just a different DVD case. I mean, the spines and everything are messed up, so anybody who really cares about having matching cases along your DVD rack or anything like that, that's just not going to happen, because they're just changed every year what they decide to put on the side of the boxes. So that's not really going to work, and just, for me, it just really isn't an issue. I almost think it would be quite good if they do a nice special edition standalone release of Twice Upon a Time, maybe in a steel book with lots of special features. Possibly you could chuck the 10th Planet on there as well, or maybe an Adventure in Space and Time as a bonus on there as well, just to kind of flesh out the box set a little bit more. They might be a bit lazy and just do it like they did with Matt Smith and just chuck all the Christmas specials on a disc and say Twice Upon a Time plus all the 12th Doctor Christmas specials, because that's what we really wanted. That'd be the lazy way of doing it, but if they did sort of put it together in a nice steel book with something like the 10th Planet or Adventure in Space and Time, I think it would work really, really well. Though I do agree with people who've said it would be a bit bad if they put it on the Series 11 box set, because it would just feel like you're putting the second part of the Series 9 finale with the Series 10 box set or something. It just doesn't make any sense. So I hope they don't do that. I'd much prefer a standalone release than try to tag it onto Jodie Whittaker's first season, which is going to essentially be a completely different era of the show. So completely different will it be from this Christmas to Series 11. It really wouldn't make much sense. But in terms of the release itself, we've got obviously all of Series 10 plus The Return of Dr. Mysterio, so that'll be nice to be able to watch those all through again, plus hours and hours of extras, lots of documentaries, behind the scenes stuff, all your kind of standard stuff you get on a box set. I was looking through, there wasn't anything that jumped out at me as, wow, that looks like an amazing special feature, but there's something like 5-6 hours of special features, so that's always good. The one probably is going to be a disappointment yet again is the audio commentaries on the episodes. Looking at the fact that they didn't mention who was going to be on the audio commentaries in the press release implies it's not a big name. If it was Peter Capaldi doing his first ever audio commentary of an episode, you'd put that in the press release. So it's clearly just going to be the producers doing it over Smile or something like that, or The Eaters of Light. It won't be John Sim and Michelle Gomez commenting over the finale. No chance that's happening. So we kind of were spoiled back in the RTD days where you had pretty much the Doctor and the Companion commentating almost every single episode throughout those first 4 Series Plus specials, which was just brilliant. To the point we've got now where you have random producers and directors and stuff that you don't really know very well commenting over the not very good episodes of the series. It's just a little bit disappointing. Once again, it's also getting a steelbook release, which is again the one I've pre-ordered. Let's just say the BBC pays quite well. And although it says 65 quid at the moment on Amazon, it's not going to be 65 quid by the time it's released. I'm sure it'll drop down to like 45, 40 or something like that. So I wouldn't be too worried about that sort of price on it. And certainly the steelbook looks pretty fantastic. I mean, for once, the actual normal DVD and Blu Ray cover looks really, really good. That one, I was almost tempted to get that, but the steelbook is just so stunning that I thought, gotta go for it. And it perfectly matches the Series 9 steelbook as well, so it nicely lines up in my collection. This one's coming out on the 13th of November, as far as I know, so about a month away, a little bit sooner for this one, which is quite nice. I don't know whether I'll view it, I might do at some point. I mean, we've seen all the episodes, there's not much point in that. It's kind of just if there's anything interesting in the special features. So I'll watch them, have a look and see if there's anything to talk about, but probably I won't do any sort of review of it. But it's still nice to have. So there we go guys, just some quick thoughts on the new releases coming up in the Doctor Who universe at the moment. Disappointing that we still don't have any news on soundtracks. Realistically, you're looking at next year for Series 9 and 10 soundtracks because it's not going to happen in the next 2 months. We would know something by now if it was going to be released before Christmas, so it's not. Murray Gold got married I think a couple of weeks ago, so he's probably a little bit preoccupied with that and becoming a father recently as well, so clearly it's not going to happen too soon, I would have said. I would think at best you're looking at mid next year we might get the releases if we're lucky. If we're lucky before Series 11, it would be nice. I mean, there's still no word on whether Murray Gold is actually going to be continuing through to Series 11 or whether the Christmas special will be his final story. I'm sure we'll kind of, I can't imagine it'll be well publicised. I don't think it's a big enough thing for the wider audience, for them to really bother with a big press. So it'll probably just kind of quietly change over, and then somebody will say in an interview, almost by accident, oh yeah, actually the composer's changed, or oh yeah, it's Murray again. So, I don't know really, but unfortunately we are going to have to wait quite a while, I sense. But we've survived 2 years without a Series 9 soundtrack, what's another 6 months at this stage, he says. There you go guys, that's my thoughts on the 2 new DVD and Blu-ray releases. Check them out online if you want to get a hold of them, and do let me know in the comments below of what you think about each release coming up. Are you going to get them or not? Do let me know in the comments below. But other than that, remember to like this video, subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you again very, very soon for another video. Goodbye.